Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is highly significant because since Papua New Guinea gained its independence from Australia, their leaders, the head of states and the prime ministers have been visiting the Philippines. And they have been looking forward when there was a reciprocal visit. But since their independence until now, there has never been a leader of the Philippines that has visited this country. But, you know, the visit of the president here, not only to attend the APEC, but it is so important for the relationship of the two countries. In fact, the excitement here is does not only involve the Filipino community, even the Prime Minister himself. Every now and then when we meet, he would always ask me, so make sure that President Duterte will come. I said he made a commitment and he always does fulfill his commitment. So the country is excited. I have met a lot of cabinet members and several governors. In fact, the city governor of Port Moresby, we just had a meeting the other day and he was saying, please give me a chance to shake hands with your president. I said, why? Oh, he is my idol, he said. And in fact, he has been telling me since we have known each other, if there will be a chance for him to propose to the city of Davao to become a sister city of Port Moresby. I don't know, maybe it can happen sometimes in the future, but I will also express this to the president. So everybody here is excited, you know. A Filipino community, we have here 40,000, more or less 40,000 Filipino community. Everybody is attuned now and everybody is asking when is our president coming. So there is a lot of excitement and in total it's so significant. And also, this is an opportunity for our president to join with the 20 other leaders to touch base and also perhaps join other leaders in affirming their commitment in their international base roles regime for trade and investments. And that is, I think, one of the most important purpose also of the president to come. Oh, there are a lot of things that are, I think the president will enjoy this because, you know, this the digital technology, which is the theme of this APEC now. And the president is very passionate about the inclusive growth of even the micro, medium, small enterprise. This digital technology will really enhance the access for these small businesses. The way I look at it, the president will really enjoy, and also the economic leaders we have, because this is now a chance for us and the small businesses to be able to link with some businesses outside their, beyond their reach. And I think as they share together and involved in the discussion, Philippines would have a lot to gain rather than lose in this in the presence of our president. Well, the participation of the president and our economic leaders will definitely take advantage of this opportunity to engage with other economists, with other leaders. Because in this APEC, you know, this is an organization that they talk together and discuss in a non-binding commitment, you know. And they have the freedom to discuss on this economy. And in fact, an opportunity also because in every nation they have their own interest. But this APEC, can eliminate those possible conflict that can happen when they are talking together among themselves. Secondly, we have our small businesses also in the Philippines who are looking forward of extending or going beyond our shores. And Papua New Guinea is a very rich country in natural resources. Think about the 40,000 Filipinos. It was only when I came here, Ryan, there were just about 700 Filipinos. But over the years, it's just rapid up, And now, when I came before, there was only one flight a week. Now we have 10 flights a week. We have our Philippine Airlines here. So you see, and there are a lot of establishment now, Filipino companies. I think we have more than 200 Filipino companies that are already established here in Papua New Guinea. And vice versa, Papua New Guinea also is enjoying this kind of relationship. And we have like about more than 3,000 Papua New Guineans already studying in Papua New Guinea, in the Philippines, which could translate into a stronger and vibrant relationship of the two countries. Well, first of all, to nurture this relationship, there are so many avenues that we can develop, although many are already ongoing. For instance, the Filipino community that are here, many of them are working in key positions. They are managers, they are supervisors, they are accountants, and in fact, some of them are involved in the government affairs. So that is how they are able to progress on this. On the other hand, Papua New Guinea also is enjoying this kind of relationship. Imagine, many Papua New Guineans are going to the Philippines just to go shopping and to go to church. Because Papua New Guinea is the only Christian country in the whole South Pacific. And we are also, as Philippines, tagged as the only Christian country in Southeast Asia. So you could imagine the closeness of these two countries and the people themselves. The culture, we have common cultures that we share together with these countries. They have a very vibrant family unity. So we do that also. We are also in this kind of life. And we have our values that are similar with them. Also, our country is able to offer a lot for this country. In fact, they consider us as an elder brother, although they have a closer brother here. But we are also known as their elder brother because Philippines is known to be generous in sharing some skills and technology to the people here. To date, we have like 4 canneries that are operating here. You mentioned about fisheries. We have RD Tuna. They came from Jinsan. We have the TPG from Malabon. We have the Pravel, also from Nabutas, Malabon. We have the Majestic. These are all operated by the Filipino companies. And the Papua New Guineans are so happy because these companies were able to employ by the thousands and thousands of local people. The intention here is to work side by side with Papua New Guineans so that we'll be able to transfer our skills and technology to these people. Although once in a while there are some detractors on this, but in general, with all those so many years, they have been enjoying this relationship of a give and take. You mentioned about the agriculture. Recently, the Prime Minister and the President met in Vietnam last year, I would suppose. I was there also, Ryan. And they discussed many things about agriculture, fisheries, and other issues. Then they plan to meet again after that. So that after, just this year, I think it was May, that the Prime Minister went to the Philippines. And they again revived what they have discussed in Vietnam. And they were specific on fisheries and agriculture. On fisheries, there were some inputs from our companies, Filipino companies, that they brought to the attention of the Prime Minister. Our companies were asking that such agreement that Papua New Guinea and this company entered into, they have some state agreement that it would remain. But there were some changes of policies, so they adopted other policies that some call it disadvantageous to the Filipino company, but there are some who say that they can still support that kind of policy. But since, as I've said, we are all members of APEC, instead of fighting together, we can talk together and perhaps agree on some common grounds that everyone should benefit. There should be no loser in this game. So, in terms of agriculture, they talk specifically, and the Prime Minister requested the President, if we can help them develop their rice industry. Because as of now, Ryan, about 99.9% this country is importing rice. There were so many attempts of planting rice here, but you know, if you don't use the right technology, you will always fail. So the President responded and told the Prime Minister, yes, Mr. Prime Minister, I will send my Secretary of Agriculture to your country. And the following month, Secretary Piñol came here and they met with his counterpart. In fact, they met also with the Prime Minister. I was with them in the office of the Prime Minister, and he was so happy when Secretary Piñol mentioned that we are here to put into action what my president has committed to help you. And so, immediately, because we want to showcase this rice industry, we immediately cleared 25 hectares of rice land, which it has grown, you know, it's so unprecedented. The growth is so amazing because we have not put even a fertilizer. We have not put any this DDT or kind of insecticide. And yet the growth was so good. And we want to show to the country that we really mean what we've said. And this is our commitment. I am so happy to tell our friends in the Philippines that as of now, there is a national support on this project. In fact, every now and then there are some leaders, members of the parliament, cabinet members, governors, and some community leaders who would come to our rice plantation. They would ask us, when can we extend our help and assistance to them? And I assure them that it's just a matter of time. As soon as this APEC is finished, and I wish that if the President would only have an ample time, that he would take time to visit this plantation. This is a most awaited event that this country is waiting. And of course, we are also excited because like many other people here, this is our first time to see this kind of growth. And the local people here are also excited and hoping to see this succeed. Well, actually, I continue to strengthen that idea that the Philippines will really benefit, because over here, when you say that you are going to plant rice all over the country, there are others who doesn't want it. And that is understandable. But it's so interesting because if this country has 8 million people, I would say that 95 or 98% of them would say that we want to develop our own rice. So there are only 8 million. And they have several millions of flat land with so many rivers and waters all around. And the temperature is perfect for rice production. And then we have this weather situation here. They don't have typhoon. They don't have floods. Well, once in a while there are floods, but not as frequent as we have in the Philippines, and also typhoon. So I would say that once Papua New Guinea will be able to take these skills and technology in the rice production, I can predict with 100% surety that this country will become a rice exporter to other countries who do not have rice. Well, they have 16 other Pacific Island countries, but I think they would also consider the Philippines as their friend, knowing that we are also generous of sharing to them the technology, and we are doing it now, as we have it here in our agreement with this country. So I would think that perhaps if this country will be fed, their excess will perhaps go to the Philippines as the first country of refusal. Initially, we had 19, and then we only have 5 now because just so happened that they have to go home because their tickets were already due. Otherwise, we don't have so much fun to do that. But these 5 are able to almost finish the project. And what was so interesting is when they were here and planting the rice, the people were just looking at us. They were just, observing. But after several days, they asked permission, Mr. Ambassador, can we please join them to the field? And they soaked themselves in mud and started to plant. It was so interesting because, I had this planting rice is never fun, and had it played while they were planting, and they just enjoy, So I started to feel that this country just need this kind of spirit, and for us to be kind to share to them our skills and the technology. That's all what they need. And of course, encourage them. It's very interesting, when we are able to plant rice already on rice paddies, and it was growing already, we noticed that those rice plantation we had along the highway, every morning it's all, they will pull this rice. And I went to these kids that are pulling this rice. Why are you doing that? Why are you pulling rice? You know what they said? We want to plant this in our backyard. So it's so interesting, Instead of getting angry to them because they're pulling the rice, I just feel that this could be a symptom of their too much excitement and interest. So I said, well, go ahead. And now they are all encouraged to see that this project is succeeding. There are more than 4 million hectares of flat land that can be converted into a rice land. And they only have 8 million that would take only 30,000 hectares to feed them every year. And if we can plant more than 30,000 hectares, anything that is in excess would actually directly benefit this country because they can export it. But I would presume that Philippines would be also benefited because, of course, I would bargain for a cheaper price. And they should be kind enough because we were the one. But these are all the natural flow that would happen. The Philippines will definitely. We may not be able to benefit this engagement in a few years, but I would presume that in some many years to come, I think the people will judge. Because actually what's happening in our country, we have a big potential of rice development and plantation. We have still few undeveloped area. The problem is there are places, in fact, even those developed areas, because of this weather condition we have. I just saw it the other day. They were about to harvest already. Then the flood and the typhoon came. So I said, lucky for this country because they don't have typhoon. So why not help them develop their own rice industry and perhaps benefit from there? My goodness, the visit of the President here in Papua New Guinea is an excitement to all Filipino here in Papua New Guinea. I would say all because wherever I go, in some islands and places, Mr. Ambassador, please give me a chance to be able to attend to our President. And, you know, anywhere I can hear the jokes of the President. Whenever I go to some malls and some provinces, it's very comforting because some of them are expressing the jokes of my President, which he said, my goodness, I have a friend, a governor from one of the provinces, and he told me that because of his, he believes the President, and he was, he kind of appreciate really his, he admired the President so much. He sent his children to study in Davao. You know, all his children, his governor, he sent his children to study in Davao. And he also hoped that when the President comes, he'll be able to at least shake hands with him. I don't know if he has the chance. But for the Filipino people, it's just so unfortunate that we have a very limited venue. We can only accommodate up to 1,000, and we have more or less about 3,000 or 4,000 here in the city. And that will be our limitation. But doesn't matter for them. The President has come and visited this country. For them, it's already a big comfort, a big assurance that the relationship is growing stronger and stronger. Because, you know, for all those years, we have the President of Indonesia, he comes every now and then, the President of Malaysia, they come here. And Philippines, who is very close to their hearts, has never had a chance, the leaders to come. So the coming of the President is actually a strength and inspiration to all of us. Me as their leader here, I can feel it. The atmosphere is very, very vibrant for our Filipino people to welcome the President. If they will only be allowed, they want to be in the airport very early in the morning, on the 16th, but I told them it will be a very strict procedures. Well, I would like to tell our kababayans here in Papua New Guinea that this is it, this is the time. We have been looking forward to this. Some of you who are in the religious group, you have prayed so much on this. And finally, the good Lord has answered your prayer. I too myself prayed for this. And when the President made his assurance that he will come, I was taken in a trance. I said, this is it. You know, being an ambassador who's been here for 22 years, to me, this is more than, you know, it's very hard to describe my happiness because I almost kind of connected all my life with these people here, the leaders. And for me, it's something for me to feel so proud that my own President will come. And this feeling of mine is not only mine, but the feeling of the Filipino people that are here. By the way, Ryan, our Filipino here community, some of them came here more than 100 years ago. But this massive, the exodus of this just recently because of the good relationship that we have built up. And of course, this country, because they have some big opportunities here. So many of them come now and enjoy their life here. Having visited by our President, will be a big comfort and inspiration for all of us. And to our people in the Philippines, I hope you will have time also to visit Papua New Guinea. This has not been in the radar, but I know you will have a paradigm shift of understanding of what Papua New Guinea is. Once you get into this country, some would immediately change their perspective the moment they touch this land. I feel so comfortable dealing with the people here, our Filipino community and our host country. So to all of you there, thank you very much, and to our president, of course, and our leaders and our government official, thank you so much for your trust and confidence given to me. I will continue to push and progress the interest of our country, and of course continue to build the bilateral relation that both countries will benefit and all our people will be the champion. Thank you.